Oi, ladies and gents, how you doing? It's quiet tonight, isn't it? Because every sad bastard's watching the football. I'm a big Middlesbrough fan. I'm a much less of an England fan. I suppose I'll watch them if they're on, but I've never understood the appeal in watching who wants to watch RGs? I can't. Croatia, I mean, I suppose I'd like to see Croatia beat the RGs, but I'm definitely not interested enough to watch it. It's not like I've got some sort of, some strong link to the people of Croatia. It'd merely be pleasant to see them the RGs get twatted, but I'm definitely not interested enough to watch it. Who's in? Who's the sensible people that are in instead of watching the fucking RGs? Stevie Orn's in, Sean Wright, Samuel Saxon, Ben Jones. Anthony Kirkwood's in now then, Ginger Mongoose, one of the only gingers I can tolerate. Ralphie Cray, Joel, Vivian Needle, Shams is in again, James Jameson, Daz Ellis, JVPA, Karen Megson, Maggie P's in from America. Now wait just a goddamn cotton picking minute. That's my best American accent. Online Killer 44, Angela Light, Catherine, Des Ellis, Davey Boy the Codhead, Coco Chanel, Sean Sims, Steve Fricker, Alan Dudson, Jeff Wedden, and all see you not all right. Snap my dog off a lamppost. I love seeing the snow back home when I get out of bed here in December in California and it's glorious sunshine. One thing I know is I don't want the Moroccans to win. Honestly, whatever result will ensure the most destruction in France is what I want. And because of that strange cultural difference, whereby I noticed it when I was in Iraq, when I was in Baghdad, when the Iraqis won in the football, they all went mental and fucking smashed the town up. So weirdly, I think I'd prefer Morocco to win because I reckon that'll cause the most rampant destruction in France. So it's a difficult one. Have you seen that meme where there's the bloke looking at the two buttons and he's like sweating? Which one do I press? It's want the Moroccans to lose or want France to get fucking burned down. So it's a difficult one. -4 in the UK. Fuck me. That's hardcore, that like. -4. You must be Scottish, are you? Or at least in the northeast. I know Newcastle's always Baltic. Let me have a quick look at the temperature here. What is it? It is 14 degrees. Sunny. 14 degrees. You can't say fairer than that, can you, for December? And it's not too bad when you're out in the sun. 14 degrees is like 20, like because it's direct sunlight, and it's not windy. But yeah, -4, not fun. That I've told you my dad's favourite line when I was a bear, and he used to come in and say to me and my brother, we'd be playing computer games, wrapped in our duvets because you can see your fucking breath, because he never used to turn the heating on unless he was in. And he used to come in and say, get your coats, lads. I'm off to the pub. And we'd be like, nice one, are you taking us with you? And he'd say, no, I'm turning the fucking heating off. So that was his favourite. Every year when it was Baltic, that's what he used to say. No notification, Matt. It's weird that I seem to have escaped the YouTube shit list for a few days. My last video got 120,000 views, which, hey, good news. It's got so many comments on it. I'm going to do what I know my sensible, intellectual followers like to see. I'm going to do a comments video. After I finish this, I'll do a comments video because I know you guys love that shit. It's infantile, but that's what you watch the Angry Bootneck for, isn't it? I'm going to do a comment response video because some of the comments were hilarious. Like people said, oh, look at this guy. He's probably never been in a fight in his life. Like these Guardian readers, middle class, uniformly middle class, which is what we have discovered about the woke movement. Uniformly middle class, soft, heavily moisturized, couldn't knock the fucking foam off a cappuccino, soft as shite Guardian readers are calling me soft in the comments. So obviously, I'm going to do the mature one and pick the ones where they're insulting me and respond in kind because I enjoy it and you guys like it. So that I'll do that when I finish this. So yeah, I'm not going for ages today because I've got an insulting, mature, reasonable video to make. Uh, the Good Life Twats. that's a good name for them. The Good Life Twats. It's only -2 down in Bedfordshire. Soft bastards. Yeah, I haven't even got my slippers on, mate. Normally I put my slippers on when it gets a bit Baltic. When I was living back in England, was it last year or the year before when I was back home? I used to properly get dressed up like I was in my DOS bag in Norway when I was in the house, because I don't put the heating on. I'm a tight bastard. It seems illogical. It's not that I'm a tight bastard. I can easily afford to put the heating on. I'm good with money. I don't spend much. I don't like clothes, cars, jewelry, drugs. Basically, I spend about $200 a year on Warhammer fucking 40,000 stuff. Books I nick. Films, yeah. Basically, I don't spend any money, so I could easily afford to put it on. But it seems so. What's the word? It's inefficient putting your heating on. I know you guys are all going to think, oh my God, he's Yorkshire and his Scottish streaks showing, he's just being a tight bastard. But seriously, I don't think it's not the money, it's the lack of efficiency that bothers me. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you turn the central heating on, the radiator's pumping out heat and you're sat miles away from it. And I feel like, heat rises. Basically, to keep yourself warm, you piss 90% of your heat out the building. So I used to put the heating on when I was living in a flat in Nottingham. I used to put my heating on once a week on a Sunday morning just because to keep damp away. But the rest of the time it was off because it seems so annoyingly inefficient. I'd rather put my slippers on, a pair of tracky bottoms, and my nice warm snug pack jacket, which is mega comfortable. It's like a sleeping bag. I'd rather just wear that inside the house and be toasty than turn my heating on. And that's another reason why, in fact, yeah, we can segue into a rant about it. The Albanians are sweating their tits off. Yeah, they are. Because this is what annoys me. Like, Maggie, same here. Exactly. This is what annoys me about the people that move here, right? They're all on telly complaining, saying like, oh, I can't heat my home. All of the stoic working class British people, like my nana, she used to sit in the house. She used to wear a pajamas, a slippers, a dressing gown, and sit there with a pair of gloves on in the front room watching the Golden Girls because she didn't like to waste money. All the old skint pensioners don't waste the money, so they don't have their heating on. But people who move here and aren't paying for their own bills and are getting everything for now demand the right, like it's a human right to have your heating on 15 hours a day. And I don't get it. It was when I was a bairn, it was the same. My dad only used to put the heating on when he was in the fucking house, right? And he used to proper moan, come in and the fire was on. He'd be like, move out that fucking fireplace. It's all blasting up your ass. And he'd whinge and say, coming from the pub and there's 2 lights on. Fucking hell, it's like Blackpool illumination in here. Turn the lights off. Working class people are tight. And they used to treat the heating like an extravagance. Like, all right, you could put the heating on for an hour. Twats who move over here who don't pay for shit are always like, it's my human right to have the heating on blasting 18 hours a day, you cunt. It isn't. Like, you twats don't put any effort in at all. It proper pisses me off. So yeah, a bit of a whinge there that I didn't intend on going into, but it's the recent immigrants to the United Kingdom do take the piss. It's not your human right to have the heating on 18 hours a day. They say stuff like, I haven't got good enough broadband, you cunt. It's like, hang on, you were just living in a tent and then you came over here in a fucking tin bath and now you're whinging because your broadband's not good enough. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? The working classes in the UK put some effort in to save some money. But the migrants who get everything for nout whinge when the things that they aren't paying anything for aren't quite up to scratch. Do you know what I mean? You don't complain because you've only got fucking 10 megabytes per second broadband or because you only put your heating on an hour a day. But they'll have a whinge. Oh, this is a disgrace. This is a disgrace. I did not get my 4-course meal today. I don't give a fuck, mate. I don't care. To ask working class people to care when they've got no fucking money is laughable. And that's what I keep talking about. This woke movement is anti-working class. Almost everybody that subscribes to it is a fucking upper crust twat. All of them, the Guardian readers, the BBC. It's a middle class movement, middle class and above. All the singers care about it because they're middle class and above, and the actors and the thespians and the fucking university professors. Basically, all the people who whinge about wokeism are all earning over £40,000 a year. So fuck them. It's a war on the working classes. And they think if they just import a few million more fighting age men, when it all kicks off, they'll be all right because they can hide behind the fighting age men. Well, you're still going to lose communists because when the working classes lose the rag, they're still in the majority. And when 10 million plumbers, bricklayers, and bus drivers lose the fucking rag and they start to grab people like fucking Harriet Harman or Jess Phillips by the face and rag them out of the fucking Houses of Parliament by the scruff of the fucking neck, you're not going to be able to hide behind a couple of million Somalians, I'll tell you that. So, yeah, they're definitely barking up the wrong fucking tree if they think that the grand plan's going to work, because it never does. It never does. Yes, they do hate you. They do. So I'm telling you, it is a uniformly upper crust movement. Every person who cares about wokeism is a middle class arsehole. And when you meet working class, I mean, listen to me. I find it staggering that I even have to say this stuff. I really do. Because what you like rubbing your muff up against or what you happen to look like is as irrelevant to your political opinions as how big your feet are or what brand of fucking watch you prefer to wear. It's completely irrelevant. I don't understand how these commie rats have managed to trick the world into thinking that your sexuality or whether or not you're in a fucking wheelchair has got something to do with your worldview. You know what I mean? Like, it's completely insane to me. Completely insane. But they say, oh, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. And people take them seriously. An old multi-millionaire geriatric white man that's been in politics for 40 years says, if y'all don't vote for me, you ain't black, and the entire world doesn't go. Is he completely off his tits, that batty old cunt? What's he talking about? You really do. If you're normal, you sit here reading these fucking stories and you just go, am I the only person sane on this fucking planet? But that's where we are. That's where we are. They honestly think if you're a lesbian, if you happen to love rubbing your fucking beef curtains up against another woman's bearded clam, they think that therefore you definitely think we should have open borders. What's it got to do with it? I love it when another woman slaps my fucking yawning hippopotamus. Oh, yeah, you must be pro-open borders then. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Why? Is there many lesbians coming in fucking bathtubs, is there? It doesn't even make any sense, does it? Fanny. I'm not into Fanny. It's horrible. I love sucking blokes off me. Also, you definitely think that there's a climate crisis and we should stop digging for oil. Yeah. Why? I don't even understand. On the face of it, it's completely bonkers. So this is what I'm saying. Like, yeah, at this point, you have to say we deserve it. We deserve total collapse because we're living in fucking clown world. The fact that these people are taken seriously completely blows my mind. The Ngozi Fulani story was lunacy on the face of it. It was lunacy on the face of it. And it was headline news for 2 weeks. Lunacy. What? A woman comes into the building dressed like a fucking... She's at a fancy dress party in fucking Rwanda. And when the old woman says, where are you from? That's a story. That's a story. As I said, it is lunacy. It is lunacy. It's like going Going to a party in Canada, all the Mounties, let's say you're going to the annual police Christmas fucking dinner and everybody in there is dressed as a Mountie. And I walk in dressed as like a Zulu warrior with a fucking spear and a bone through my nose. And when somebody goes, "Where are you from?" I go, "You cheeky bastard. I'm as Canadian as you are, you cunt." It doesn't even make sense. The fact that it was even covered by anybody proves that the world's gone mad. It should be when a company like the BBC or the Guardian publishes a story like that, trying to gin up a controversy. It should be the entire general public is like, if you carry that shit up, shit up, shit up, shit on. If you carry that shit on, we're just going to fucking, you're not going to like what happens to your building. It's like, we're not standing for it. It's absolute madness. So the world's gone fucking mad. Anyway, there's two random tirades about immigration and the fucking activist media before I even got to the news story I wanted to cover. The news story I'm going to cover now, I'm covering because, as you all know, for the last 3 years, I've constantly banged the drum about climate change being complete drivel. Because I crunch the numbers. And for any wokists in the fucking chat who go, "Oh my God, I said it's all bollocks." I've never said that I think it's all bollocks. And I think that I'm being proved right, haven't I? What I've said is common sense dictates that if the planet used to have 4 billion people on it and 2 billion of them drove cars, and it's now got 9 billion people on it and 5 billion of them drive cars, I would assume that that will, of course, affect the environment and the climate. And you know that's true, because if you walk around India or fucking Beijing, it's like trying to breathe through a fucking doner kebab wrapper. It's right. Of course it does something. But as I've always said, it doesn't matter. Because of two incontrovertible reasons. Number one, the amount of pollution and carbon emitted by the likes of India and China totally makes any changes that we do completely and utterly irrelevant. You've all seen my videos on it by now. I won't bore you by repeating myself again. The line I always use, it's like emptying the fucking lobster tanks in the restaurant in the Titanic. "Oh, this will sort the problem out." There's a 40-foot hole in the side of the boat, you thick twat. Right? So, A, it doesn't make any sense to beggar ourselves when India and China aren't joining in. And B, and this is the number one point I've made, technology will fix this problem. Every time humanity has a problem, we knuckle down and we fix the fucker because we're clever little bastards. We just can. We've got a can-do attitude when we're all in the shit. And I've always said this. Technology will fix our problems. And lo and behold, in the news today, breakthrough in nuclear fusion energy announced. What have I been saying for the last 3 years? When it starts to get bad, we'll fix the fucking problem. The Earth will heal itself. Yeah. It'll get bad, and then we go, right, oh. Do you remember when everybody was talking about the ozone layer? Fucking, oh my God, Lynx deodorant's going to cause the whole planet to burst into flames. Within like 5 years, there was no more CFCs, like none. None in fridges, none in freezers, none in deodorants. We just go, right, we'll get an alternative. And now they're saying all these different issues are causing all these problems with regards to climate change. Well, we'll fix them. Easy. Technology. Like I always joke about, it's like on Highlander, where he fucking builds a machine to fix the ozone layer. We'll come up with a solution. And we know that, what do you call it? Third world people using coal and wood to heat and eat is a massive issue. So all their emissions will massively go down as they get more money and build more nuclear power plants, and nuclear technology becomes even safer and even easier to use. And in 10 years' time, everyone will start using it and the emissions will fucking go down, and we'll invent technology that makes the world cleaner. Yeah, James, what I'm getting at is there's no need for us to get into the weeds on that issue. What I'm saying to you is it's incorrect to call me a denier or a conspiracy theorist, because I'm saying maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I'm not interested in the discussion. It's like I'm an agnostic / atheist, but not really, because I don't really care about the God question. There is one or there isn't one. I don't care. I don't believe what people say about it. So I don't think about the question too much. I'll find out when I'm dead. I'm more of an anti-theist than an atheist, because I don't really care about the God question. I just don't. I don't care about the climate question. All I care about is, are we intelligent enough and rational enough and ingenuitive enough to fix any problems that assail us as a species? And I think we are. So we don't need to beggar ourselves. Therefore, you can avoid getting into the weeds, because what the communists try to do is drag you into the weeds and then subtly change the subject on you, because they're trying to get you to look like a freak so they can go, ooh, look, denier, ooh, conspiracy, tinfoil, is Elvis still alive? Like a bunch of wankers they are. So don't even get into the conversation with them. I don't care about the climate question. Is man-made climate change a thing or not? I don't even care. So I'm not a denier. Maybe we do. Maybe we don't. I don't give a fuck. All I care about is, do we need to beggar ourselves and live like fucking rats when the Chinese and the Indians couldn't give a monkey's fuck, and our technological innovations will doubtless see us through regardless of what problems assail us? So fuck you is my response. I don't care. I don't care. We will fix these issues. AOC said we're going to go extinct by 2025. And 3 years ago, I clipped the video and made one taking the piss out of her and said, go on then, fucking sheep teeth. I'll have any bet you want to make. I'll have 10 grand with you right now that we haven't gone extinct in 2025. I'll put my money where my mouth is. They don't know what they're talking about, and they just keep moving the goalposts. All the shit Al Gore said, it is inconvenient truth, didn't fucking come true. So you guys have got form in lying your asses off. So who gives a fuck what you say now? You just lie all the time. Anyway, I have to read at least one news story, don't I? Breakthrough in nuclear fusion energy announced. Let's read it. A major breakthrough has been announced by US scientists in the race to recreate nuclear fusion. Physicists have pursued the technology for decades as it promises a potential source of near-limitless clean energy. On Tuesday, researchers confirmed they have overcome a major barrier, producing more energy from a fusion experiment that was put in. Experts say there is still some way to go before fusion powers homes. Yeah, so what? The experiment took place at the National Ignition Facility at the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory in California. LLNL Director Dr. Kim Boodle said this is a historic achievement. Over the past 60 years, thousands of people have contributed, and it took real vision to get us here. It's the holy grail of energy production, and is the process that powers the sun and other stars. It works by taking pairs of light atoms and forcing them together. This fusion releases a lot of energy. It's the opposite of nuclear fission, where heavy atoms are split apart. Fission is the technology currently used in nuclear power stations, but the process produces a lot of waste that continues to give out radiation for a long time. It can be dangerous and must be stored safely. That paragraph is just the BBC doing what the BBC does and trying to subtly turn you against it because they're shit-for-brains communist ideologues. Who in reasonable, sensible circles, what engineer talks in metrics like a lot? The process produces a lot of waste. It's almost comical to me, and I'm not an engineer. A lot. Define a lot. Define a lot. BBC, tell me what a lot of waste is. Because do you actually know what the waste is from a nuclear power station? It ain't a lot. It ain't a lot at all. It's literally, you need 10 acres of land, and every few years you ditch the waste in a fucking big hole. Jobs are good. And they say a lot, like you could be talking about 50,000 tons of radioactive material. That's not a lot. Sorry, that is a lot. But the waste from nuclear power stations is not a lot. It's not a lot at all. So, bollocks, right? They're just subtly trying to talk you out of it. Nuclear power stations are the way forward. If we'd have just... There's videos of Nick Clegg talking about nuclear power stations 12 years ago. And you must have seen it, a lot of you. There's Nick Clegg on telly getting interviewed, and they're saying, shouldn't we build some nuclear power stations, Nick? And he's going, nah, there's no point. They take 10 years. 10 years, there's no point in doing that. If we'd have done it, we'd have had the fucking things finished. And we wouldn't have an energy crisis now. If we'd have just built like 6 of them, we could power the UK. It's so they're so clever and they're so efficient and they're so good at it now. If we'd have built 6 of them, like 1 in each of the largest counties in the United Kingdom, the whole of the UK and Ireland would be buzzing, and we wouldn't need energy off anybody else. And they'd have all been finished 2 years before Nick Clegg was whinging about it. 2 years before the time that Nick Clegg was whinging about. So, King Mong, that's a good name for Nick Clegg. So this is all shit that we knew we could fix, and we don't do it because our degenerate scumbag, lying, cheating, pedo, noncy, rapey, fucking evil politicians only care about the short term. Nick Clegg knew it would be good for the world, good for the people, good for the country, and good for the world if we just got to it and started building them nuclear power stations 12 years ago. And he didn't do it because he knew that the short term is better for him when it comes to seizing power, bumping up his pension pot, and robbing you fucking blind. So Nick Clegg went, fuck it. And now we're all in the shit. And now your energy costs you a fortune because you buy it all off the frogs. And who wants to give the frogs money? These are just incontrovertible facts. Incontrovertible facts. The video's out there. Look it up. Nick Clegg, nuclear power. You can fucking see it with your own eyes and hear it with your own ears. The degenerate scum that run the United Kingdom are only in it for themselves. They could have finished those nuclear power stations 2 years ago before it even kicked off with Russia, and the UK would be sitting pretty high and dry. We could be selling energy to the rest of Europe. In fact, that'd help them, wouldn't it? Because then they wouldn't have to be, the Russians wouldn't have them over a barrel. And we could have done it. We've got the space and we had the money. 12 years ago, we had the money. Now we fucking don't. Now we've got less money than an Icelandic banker. But we could have done it. Yeah, I did hear about that. Again, too little, too late. Too little, too late. 12 years ago, we should... David Cameron, Tony Blair caused all of the current shit that's basically decimated the United Kingdom and turned it into a joke country. But David Cameron did nothing to fix any of it. That little fucking weasel, that shiny, four-headed, big-eared little boy, pussy that he is, who spat his dummy out and walked off when the referendum didn't go his way, instead of doing his duty. They'll talk about duty. That little shiny-headed fucking jug-lug twat, the second the referendum went against him, walked out, spat his dummy out. What a fucking weasel. Little worm that he is. I can't believe that I was hoodwinked by the Tories. I told you, Peter Hitchens, you've got to give the man his credit. He's always right. 12 years ago, he was talking about, we have to get rid of the Conservative Party. And I was like, what does he know? He's just a cranky old man. Everything he said was true. Everything he said was true. And now we've all been, we all got sucked in. The Conservative Party is about as conservative as fucking Tony Blair is. So they need to die a death. Like I said, Reform, SDLP, anybody except the Conservatives needs. But unfortunately, you're in the shit because Labour are going to win the next general election. So you guys are in the shite over there. This is all true. This is all, and again, this is what I've told you guys about the UN, NATO, the World Wildlife Fund, fucking the World Economic Forum. All of these NGOs now run the world. There's nothing you can do about it. So, yeah. But you know what I keep saying? You've got to be black-pilled. You've got to just suck it up, accept the fact that we're in the shit, and keep on chuckling as the world burns, because it's got to get much, much, much worse before it gets better. Like I keep telling you, the normies don't pay attention. They're not going to start paying attention until Netflix doesn't work and they haven't got a couch to sit on and eat cookie dough off. So it's got to get much, much worse before it gets better. Stone must be a new boy. No, I don't. I'm currently sending you this from California, which, I mean, has got its own problems, as I keep saying. But the United States, by definition of its lack of centralized power in comparison to the United Kingdom and all of Europe, the United States has got options. Europe hasn't, and the UK is totally fucked. You've got to get through. You've got to get through 4 years of commie rule, full-blown commie, not just covert commie like the Conservatives. So the UK is definitely in the shit. You've got at least 5-6 years of this. 6 years of mass immigration, 6 years of never paying a bill, 6 years of borrowing, 6 years of throwing money down the toilet, not enforcing the border laws, economic jihad being waged by foreign terrorist organizations, the complete gutting of the civil service, replacement of all the competent civil service with left-wing activists, the College of Policing continuing with its nefarious schemes so the police are powerless and can't do the job anymore. All the quangos are in the UK. You seriously, compared to us, the UK is totally fucked. At least the police can still arrest people in the United States. I don't even know what they're doing in England. The College of Policing telling them that you're not allowed to drag a protester off the road. Apparently, it's illegal to block a freeway, a highway or a motorway in England, but not if you're a left-wing protester. And you can do whatever you like, right? College of Policing said so. So yeah, you're in the shit, definitely. Anyway, that's the one story I'm doing today because I'm going to go and make a proper video that'll give you all the chuckle, I'm sure. But the promise of all of this shit is good news. And it's what people like me have been saying for many years. Do not allow woke activists to disrupt your life in any way. Resist them in every way you can. If you see them, call them a bunch of cunts. If they try to block the road, drive round them. Anything to not allow them to get the claws in. Write to your local MP, phone them when they're on talk radio and say, you upper crust, snooty, toffee-nosed, Oxbridge shit gibbon. I do not care about your dog shit ideology. You're waging war against the working classes and all of us hate you. Tarquin, you fucking wanker. I'm trying to get to work because I'm a steel erector and I actually work for a living. And I'm walking a mile to work in the rain as I do every day. And lo and behold, I bump into a bunch of fucking upper crust twits blocking the road and stopping people from getting to work on the bus because you're fucking called Tarquin and Memmy was a protester and you haven't got anything better to do with it because you don't work for a living. And it's a hobby because you fucking feel useful and dejected and you've got no direction and no purpose because you walk and you spend all your time doing drugs and fucking prostitutes and sniffing coke off bent coppers' dicks and doing all the other things that these Guardian reading degenerate fucking dogs do all day instead of going to work. That's why you're a protester, because it's an upper crust hobby for fucking upper crust wankers. That's why they all talk the same. Oh yes, Mummy was a protester. That's what they talk. Look at the videos on YouTube and see, just Google Katie Hopkins talks to Extinction Rebellion activists. That's what they all talk like. Oh, yeah, yes, you know, the climate's good. It's terrible. None of them talk like me. You don't get a Geordie plumber going, I'll tell you what, like, we're all fucked if we didn't sort the fucking climate out, like. Doesn't happen. It's wankers like Greta Thunberg. Wankers like Laurie Penny. Wankers like Afua Hirsch. Oh, yes, we're all in the shit, you know. Pass me some Mojitons, darling. Those fucking dickheads when we had the Brexit protests and you see like 4 middle-class women sitting on a cashmere blanket drinking fucking 60-pound bottles of wine and eating French cheese going, oh, yeah, I can't believe those gibbering chimps voted for Brexit. Yeah. Bollocks. You people don't know anything. Nothing. It's class warfare. If you're working class, you drive a van, you get your feet wet when you go to work, you should fucking despise these people. All of them. Find me a working class protest. One. I want to see a bloke with calloused hands and rigger boots on, complaining about, in a thick northern accent, about how worried he is for the future of his children. Fuck, it's a joke. It's a joke. Right, I've had enough. I'm going to fuck off and I'm going to make a video responding to comments from my last one. So it'll give you all a chuckle. I'll probably get it edited this afternoon. I'll probably drop it in the morning at like whatever time it is over here, 7 o'clock in the morning. I've found I get more traction when I put them on. Like if I set them for 7 a.m. in California, which is like the middle of the day in England, I seem to get more clicks. So I'll make that and I'll edit it tonight and I'll drop it tomorrow. And it'll hopefully give you all a laugh because there was some fucking corking responses to that video. Right, ladies and gents, thanks for watching. Go and watch the football, you boring bastards. All right, I'll see you all maybe on Saturday. I might do a stream on Saturday. I've got work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, so I might see you all on Saturday. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Keep smiling because ultimately it's fucking funny, isn't it? It's funny that the lunatics are running the asylum. All right, cheers. See you all soon. Take it easy.